Hey everybody, just wanted to give you a quick update on how our axle build project is going, specifically what's under here that's eventually going to go in there. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So glad you could join me today. Pleasure to have you here as always. We are of course going to be revealing what type of traction aid we are going to be putting in our axle that's sitting down there in front of the Jeep today. Before I get to that, I do want to let you know that the good folks over at Eaton were kind enough to help supply this to us and support the project of this. So big thanks to them. And they make a ton of different traction devices. I'll leave a link down in the description below so you can see which one might work for your particular application. So before I reveal this though, I want to step over to the axle, take the diff cover off, kind of show you what's in there right now, and then how this is going to go ahead and replace that and make things a lot better when we're off-road. Time for Differential 101, maybe even a 100. I'm going to keep this really super basic for y'all. There's three main components in here I'm going to talk about today, and this is what is known as an open differential. First component we're going to talk about, of course, is the ring, and then back behind in here is the pinion. This gets power from the drive shaft, and this whole mechanism, let me brace myself here a little bit and I can spin this for you, and it spins just like this, right? Obviously at a much higher rate of speed than I'm turning it here by hand. And then what you have here, this particular piece of metal here, this is known as the carrier. The ring gear is bolted to the carrier, and then inside the carrier we have these gears here. Those are known as spider gears, and these spin independently, if you will, of the ring gear and pinion, and they're going to go ahead and send power to your axle shafts to in turn turn your tires. That being said, in this particular setup of an open differential, power is always going to go to the side with least resistance. So if you've ever been out wheeling or you've seen someone out wheeling and just one tire spinning and the other one's not doing anything, that's because power is going to the path of least resistance. Now you can go ahead and change that up by maybe turning the steering wheel, and that tire that's not moving all of a sudden can find traction and you move forward again, or at least hopefully that's what you do. So in our scenario, we're going to go ahead and obviously be keeping the ring and pinion are going to be staying, a new gear set's going to go in, but this design in here is going to change a little bit. What we're going to have happen in here is essentially we're going to go ahead and make it so that the power doesn't go to the path of least resistance. It's going to be equally split left and right. Hence, we have a locking differential very similar to what is currently in the Jeep right now. Essentially, through mechanical action, these spider gears are going to essentially lock together and provide equal traction, both sides of that. So let me step back up to the bench. We're going to show you exactly what's going to go in here. So at this point, I think I've made y'all wait long enough. Let's just go ahead and take this off here and show you what we've got. This is the Eaton E-locker. It is a selectable locking differential. It is electrically powered, much like the current one in the JK. And it does come, reach down here and get this, with a wiring harness. And eventually when we get to this step, I'll show you how I'm going to wire it in. One question I do have for y'all is, where the heck should I put this switch at? I want to make it sure it's in an easy to reach place. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions, so post up down below on where you think it should go. That being said, in here, if this was cut away, you'd see something very similar to the open differential, a set of spider gears in here. This is a 4-pin unit, which is the newer design of the E-locker, which means it stays locked and engaged until you turn the switch off. Prior versions of this, my understanding is they would momentarily unlock when going from drive to reverse, reverse to drive. It would take a little bit of wheel speed to re-engage them. This one, not the case, stays locked 100% of the time until you kill the power to it. This collar up here is where all the magic happens, and obviously we're going to have to go ahead and drill the housing to fit the wires through there. But this unit down here, which essentially is the carrier, right? The ring gear is going to bolt to here. This spins independently of this, right? You wouldn't want this spin, it would obviously shear the wire off. It is very substantially heavy. So a good chunk of metal here with this. Again, from what I read on Eaton's website, they're forged gears inside of here that all mesh up together with that. And this should hopefully work really, really well for us. And again, the other reason that you want to have a selectable locker, if you can, in the JK and even the JL is all the nanny-state electronics, right? It doesn't like things that don't, that don't mesh right or cause problems with that. It can send them into lip home mode, from what I understand on a couple of these, or flashing Christmas tree lights all across the dash. So again, if you can go with a selectable locker, I highly recommend that. As far as when we're going to get this installed, well, that's the million-dollar question. Right now, we're still waiting for gears to come in, and we keep getting delay notices on those. From what I understand, it's the smaller parts, not necessarily the actual ring and pinion. So once those get in, we'll be able to get this all buttoned up. My goal, hopefully, I don't know, knock on wood, is hopefully by the end of this year we get this all wrapped up, at least installed. But that's the goal, at least to get everything installed in the axle, and then we can go ahead and start the rear axle application as well. Anyway, Be sure to do all that stuff you need down below so you don't miss any future updates on this or other content we're going to be providing to you. Again, if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer them. And as always, I hope you have a great day. I look forward to seeing you on the trail. And again, big thanks to the folks over at Eaton for stepping up and helping to support our project. Have a great day, everybody.